Hey, housewives.
Hey, hey, welcome back.
Welcome back. We are so excited. We've got a different setup here today
Mhm.
because I don't know where you are and when you're listening to this episode, but man, this flu, this crap, the upper respiratory, all the crud is just going around. Man, and it has hit you can hear it in my voice. And then poor Tracy's family has just been dropping like
Mhm.
flies. And so
Except for me.
yes, except for Tracy. Well, and it's because you guys know she does all of the health things. And so just can't get her family to follow suit. One of these days, they'll listen.
One day.
One day. So, anyways, all of that to say, this could not come at a better time. We actually have a wonderful guest on today that is going to be fabulous for our listeners. But speaking of, it's health related. So, we know you're shocked, but I'm going to allow Tracy to introduce our guest.
Yes. Okay. So today we have Michelle Spottifora. How'd I do?
Pretty good, pretty good.
All right. Is a founder of Faithful Workouts, a global movement that blends faith, fitness, and food to help people strengthen their bodies while deepening the relationship with God. For over a decade, Michelle has inspired thousands through her Christian based workouts, motivational speaking, and faith centered wellness programs, empowering women to live with energy, joy, and purpose. Her approach goes beyond traditional fitness. It's about transforming hearts and habits through biblical truth, movement, and community. As a speaker and podcast guest, Michelle shares real, relatable stories about overcoming body image struggles, finding identity in Christ, and creating lasting health through spiritual discipline. Whether she's leading a retreat, hosting a devotional workout, or motivating others online, Michelle's message is clear. True wellness starts with faith. Welcome, Michelle.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I like that description. You're kind of making me sound good there.
Hey, don't you want one like to start the day with somebody just reading your bio and just be
Yeah,
like,
here I am
yes,
today.
I'm amazing.
I
Right.
do think that's what we all need. Can you imagine, like, all right, I'm going to step out and be that person today?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly, exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Shout out to Podmatch because we are just so thankful to not only to be part of their network, but also just the resource that it is for podcasters and how it makes Tracy and I's job so much. I won't say easier. I will say we get to enjoy the part that we love most more
Mhm.
because we
More
get to
fulfilling.
more fulfilling because we get to
Yeah.
spend the time we want talking to people and recording these episodes versus going behind the scenes and trying to send an email here. So if anybody has a podcast, definitely click on the link in our show notes. Check out Podmatch is fantastic resource for
Mhm.
people who have guests on their podcast. So, but without further ado, thanks so much for joining us, Michelle.
Absolutely. Super glad to be here. I'm with you. Like that whole pod match thing. I was like, really? I feel like I'm on a dating website or something. And I'm
I
like,
know.
is this like, should I be doing this? But it
I
is such a fun
it's
way to meet
It
people.
is, and it's like all the information. I mean, it's the
Mhm.
likes, the dislikes, and I mean, yes, like swipe left. This is amazing. So, well, you have got a fantastic topic for us today, and it's 4 things that women can do for their health over the age of 40. Now, I'm not gonna be able to say this much longer, so I'm going to. Some of us are not over 40 yet. I only get to say that for a couple more months. But they're all still great things that we need to be focusing on. But I want to start with asking you, what made you decide? And fitness has always been part of your journey, all part of your life. But what
Mhm.
made you decide to bring faith and Jesus into that hour workout?
I didn't grow up with faith. I had a fantastic mom, but faith wasn't part of our life. And so when I started teaching fitness classes, like most people, it was just all about, exercise and eating. And I started teaching in 1984 in a club. And it was such the, like, pickup scene. I mean, anything you could picture about the 1980s workout world, that's what it was. So, I had no faith, and I was good with all of it. I'd be up on that stage, teaching to 100 people and strutting my stuff and, just that kinda life, and then I ended up we moved to Colorado. I was living in Chicago at the time, moved to Colorado, had 3 kids in 3 years. And I think if there's anything that will make you say, I don't know if I can do this. It could be that. My husband traveled, I had my own business, 3 kids, and they were all, like, full of it. They were not those little kinda quiet little kids like some get. And so I just feel like I God ca just came to me and he was like, "Hey, I think you should go to church." Like, that's how he came at me, brought me in through church because my kids, I wanted them to have better morals than I have. I was good, of course, in my view at that
Right,
time.
right. Uh-huh.
I'm good, but them, they need it. And
Mhm.
so I went to church and literally, I was like, "This is true, this is real, and I'm excited to change the way I'm living." And because my faith impacted my life in such a positive way, and I'm part of my personality traits is if you've ever done something called strength finders, like I'm an includer. I like to include people. And so as soon as I realized just how much better my life was, I wanted to share it with others. And in some quiet time, I felt like God said to me, take me to your fitness platform. In where I live in Colorado, it's an extremely fit area and a
Mhm.
very low church attendance. So I think, I was in class and started out a little timid. You know, I have a quote from a guy named Luke who was a doctor a long time ago, and,
I love that.
and, got more and more bold as my faith became more and more really into my heart. And so as I, was starting to do those little things in classes and everything, I was like, I really believe from all my years of teaching, this is what's been missing and why the success rate when it comes to consistently exercise or eating health is so low. I mean, it's like 4% chance of being, consistent and successful with it. And so it's like, God, is this the missing piece? Is this what I really need to bring into my fitness routine for myself and for others? And just felt complete conviction and then ended up in 2009 that this network on DirecTV was like, "Hey, we're looking for an exercise show," and just kind of expanded from there to the website and all this other stuff. But I truly believe that the faith piece is what's been missing because again, how could something have such a low success rate, right? When people know it's valuable. And I just feel like, people in the church, I mean, I'll ask you too. Have you, prayed and asked God to help you when it comes to your eating? To ask you to help you to
My
exercise?
eating, yes. My
My
fitness, not enough. Mm-mm.
No,
yeah,
my eating, no. I will pick up that slice of pizza every time.
yeah. And there's nothing wrong with picking up a slice of pizza if it's not every time. I mean,
Right,
if it's not, you know
right.
what I mean?
In moderation. Yes.
Yeah, in moderation. I am not a
Mhm.
diet deprivation type of person. But I just find it interesting that, I think a lot of people are like, God's got better things to do than really be concerned about my eating and exercise. But I love First Peter 5:7 because it just opens up that prayer to like anything because it says, give all of your worries and cares to God because he cares
Mhm.
about you. And
Yeah.
if you worry or care about your health, then of course you should talk to him about it.
Mhm.
And there's just real quick, this little ABCs that I kind of feel like God opened my eyes to years ago, and it's just like, hey, the ABCs of fitness, A, ask God for help. I mean, it's all throughout scripture. You have not because you ask not. You want wisdom,
Mhm.
ask. And so ask for help. B, though, you have to believe that he can really help you. I mean, often we can throw up a prayer and ask him for something, but we don't really believe he can do it. We might say it as a prayer only because may ask us, did you pray about it? You can say yes,
Mhm. Yeah.
but do you really believe what scripture says that all things are possible with Christ, that you're a new creation, that nothing's impossible. So believe, A, ask, B, believe, and C, it's so important that we check our motives. God cares about motives. He really does. It's again scripture that he cares about our motives. Are you trying to lose weight so people will love you? You'll look more the part that you could, it's all about you? Or is it that your heart is more like God? It's your body. I wanna treat it well. Can you help me with that? Because I just know that if I had more strength and energy, I'd probably get out there and do a little bit more of your loving on people. And so
Mhm.
it's that mindset, and now it's 100% okay to want a body that looks strong and healthy, but it shouldn't be about impressing people or even to
Right.
make you feel that you're more lovable. So ask,
Mhm.
believe, and check your motives are just certain things that I just think it works for fitness, but it works for so many areas of our life.
I think that's so
Absolutely.
good. And I would say, I think it depends. My like honest like conviction in that for me, it's depended on when I have gone to God about my health, which I have for the last many years because I've been on this journey and I felt very alone because I didn't know that I was going through menopause early. And so I was trying to figure out all these things that was my problem. And so I did walk through a lot of things with him in that. And I found out I had Hashimoto's years ago. And so then I went gluten free. And, I was so overwhelmed. So I have absolutely brought that to him. But I don't think I've necessarily brought the fitness piece to him, which is interesting that you're talking about that because I feel like it's that energy piece. It's the am I giving my body what I need in order to get to the fitness piece, right? Like I just can't, some days I just can't do it. I want to so bad. And I love working out. I've never regretted going on a walk or working out. It's just that getting there. So for people like me, what encouragement do you have in that?
I would say for most people, they know it's good for them, right? So I don't think there's
Mhm.
anyone listening who's going to say, movement is not good for me. I think that all the studies are wrong. That's kind of like a given. Like we know we should move. And
Mhm.
often what I find is the hardest part is for someone to just get started that day. Like, what can I do? And so we can put these expectations out there. Like, in order for it to be considered a workout, I have to maybe drive to a gym and I have to work out for an hour. And, it's such a huge commitment. But what I recommend is like, hey, put on a song. What's your favorite song? Put it on and start moving to it. That's one of the things I love about our videos is we have a lot of like fun Christian music. And I'll say to them, do the first song. When you're done with that first song, if you don't feel like continuing, that's okay. Most of the time you're going to want to continue. So that's one thing is like don't feel like you have to commit to doing hours. Just commit to 5 minutes. And then another thing is it's routine. Like when I know I will work out and I know exactly when I'm gonna work out. It's in my schedule. If I don't feel like it, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go work out. It's like just a routine. The more you do something, the easier it is to continue to do it. So you might have to really push through for a while,
Mhm.
get yourself in that routine. And as people are starting, I'd rather have them do 5 minutes like 5 days a week, then 1 day, an hour. Like, the more it's just part of that routine, that's what we're looking for. That just that will help you to set yourself up for success when you know that like, for me personally, I get up, I have coffee, I'm gonna read my Bible, I'm gonna then go get my emails done, like, a couple things, and then I'm gonna be in the workout room at 9 a.m. my time. That's just what I do.
Mhm.
I mean, it's easier for me, I teach, so you kind of but I mean, when I'm on vacation, it's the same thing, and then to just the other thing I would just do is when you're struggling to do it, just to say, "Okay, how will I feel if I don't do it? How will I feel if I do it?"
Mhm.
And then just make that be that motivator to say, like, "I'm gonna do the right thing because I know later today that is gonna feel so much better than not doing this." I don't know,
Yeah.
we're all different what motivates us. I've had people tell me they sleep in their workout clothes. They put
I
their
used to do that.
yeah. Well, I mean, my pajamas are not that much different than my workout clothes, truth be
Same.
told, I'm sleeping in leggings and a t-shirt, so but then, another person was like, "I put my workout shoes on top of my Bible, or I put my exercise bands next to my coffee cup." It's like getting that so you see it and you're like it just those reminders, setting an alarm in your phone, like, not just it's in your calendar, I set, like, straight up alarms to go off. "Okay, get yourself
Mhm.
down there, it's time." And I
Yeah,
think
I
it
I
works for
love
you.
my alarms and my
Yeah.
reminders, don't I, Tori?
Yes, she does. So
I'm
we
the
have to
same
remind
way,
her.
like, do you ever set an alarm though, and then you're like, "What was that alarm for? What am I
All the
supposed to
time.
do?"
Yeah, and I'm the queen of and I had another one of our guests on our podcast tell us, like, to stop setting reminders on your phone that then you just adjust to later in the day because you're just reminding yourself you failed at that too, and you failed at that too. It's like, because I tend to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I
Yep.
get that. Um,
All right. So give us what these 4 item like, just like the basic 4 things that women 40 and older or late 30s can do
or
to just
60s.
or 60s that can just start the process of like, okay, like I know that this is something I need to do. I know I need to have, I one thing at a time. So what are just the simple things that you would say for women to focus on?
Yeah, and I want to
Mhm.
just say that, like, this is something that I get such a kick out of studying. I have been studying women's health for so many years. Just, looking at, I'm a big, like, compare different studies. Don't just look at one constant thing. Like, don't just look at a Mayo Clinic hospital study. Look at these natural path. Look at, Y range,
Mhm.
look at all of that. So, what I'm going to share with you today are things that I have found that are consistently true. It doesn't matter what platform I'm kind of researching into or what study I'm looking at. These are very much like, people agree these are things that are important at any time in our life, but a lot of them really for women. And so the first one is what we were just talking about is movement, is exercise, adding that into your schedule. So studies would show 150 minutes per week, ideally through 5 30-minute workouts is really a great place to get to. And again, you can be starting at 3 5-minute workouts. But just know that's a great place to go to. And you may want to do more. I typically do 5 or 6 workouts a week. I love it. I'm just one of those weird people. I really enjoy it. But whatever it is, like trying to get it to be consistent. And then the question, of course, is what should I do during those workouts? What's the most effective way to work out? Well, keep in mind, it does matter what you enjoy, but that's not the only thing that matters. Like, you have to find something you actually like, but then you also have to think of, like, what's the best thing for my overall health? And you should have 5 pieces to every workout. Like, your workout should include cardiovascular, good for our health. It means an increase in breathing or heart rate. Cardiovascular, you should have strength training, especially this is the big one with women over 40. I hear from so many people, they hit 40 and they start to gain weight. And they're like, I'm not changing what I'm eating. Why am I putting on weight? Well, for many, it's because they're losing muscle. If you're not actively trying to gain muscle, you're losing muscle. And so when we have less muscle, our metabolism drops, meaning we go through calories or energy at a slower rate 24/7. So we need to have muscle, which will increase or keep our metabolism up so that we are still kind of efficient at burning through calories and all of that. So that's a huge piece. And people will be like, yeah, but I don't want big, bulky muscles. Believe me, you're not going to get them unless you are doing some major work to get them and probably taking some extra supplements in there. So don't worry about that. So cardio, strength. Another thing I just put into a separate category because it's so important is core. It's one of those things that people don't really like to do, but if you think of it, what is like my arms, everything's coming off of my core. And 80% of people will struggle with back pain during their life. And most back surgeries would be completely preventable if we did proper core training. So, it's something that I do regularly. I have my family history. My mom had 5 back surgeries, my sisters have back issues, and I, at 22, couldn't even lay in a bed because my back would hurt. I'd have to elevate my feet super high. 63 years old, I have no back pain at all, and I believe it's because of proper, consistent core training. So, I'm very passionate about the core training. So, cardio, strength, core. Balance. Start working on
Mhm.
balance because it makes a difference. Like, you just hear of too many people falling and then they get injured. And balance is something we really train and learn. You should be able to stand on one foot, moving your arms like this and keep your balance. You are training your body how to adjust. Like, you'll feel these little muscles and things working to stay upright. So balance is really important. And then the last one is stretching, range of motion. So those are 5 components to what I call my total body workout. You should be doing all 5 of those throughout your week and hopefully multiple times or work yourself up to that, but you don't have to do them at every workout. So, if you wanna just go for a bike ride one day, that's fine, but make sure you're doing these other, pieces at a different time. If you love sports, pickleball, biking, whatever it is, if you're not doing total body workouts, you're not gonna be able to do them probably into your as you're aging as well or as long as you'd like. So I believe spending an extra 15, 20 minutes on the strength, the core, all of that can just add so much more to your life. And then lastly, 150 minutes. Do you know what percentage of your week that is? Of all your minutes? It's 1.5%. So if
It's
you think
crazy.
about this, If I take 1.5% of my time and I use it to exercise, it will 100% impact the other 98.5. Like, that's a good return on investment,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's fun. I mean, I think it's fun. Do it with friends. We have a good old time when, like, if you do our videos on our website, I mean, we're fun. We're kind of fun, just saying.
Hey, that's whatever it takes, whatever it takes. So it's just like you said, like, sometimes it's just a song that just needs just to
Mhm.
spark that movement, and then you're just like, "Oh, yeah, I could do this," and then you get going.
And I think too, as moms, there's nothing we want more than to help our children to be the best that they can be, right? I mean, we
Mhm,
want that.
mhm,
Who doesn't want that? And I have now a 30, 29, and 27-year-old. All three of them exercise consistently. Are not like they definitely will have some sugar at times, but they eat healthier than I think almost most of the people their age. And
mhm.
that was really important to me. And they just grew up. It's what we did.
Yeah.
I would put them in the nursery at the gym. "I don't wanna go to the nursery." I'm like, "Well, I don't love taking you to basketball practice every day, but this is what we do here. Get the gym, we're gonna do this because this is important to me."
Yep,
Yeah,
very
that's
much.
good.
This makes mommy a lot less angry.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so you want
100%.
you want mommy to do this. This is
Yeah,
good.
So I'm
Okay.
curious. I want to ask because I've done a lot of my own, research on exercising and things, and I'm really good at that. I'm really good at learning about it without putting it into practice. So I'm willing to say that out
step
loud.
1, step 1.
Um,
Good job, Tracy.
yes, but the lifting is, the like you said, the strength part is what I hear so much for, women, especially after menopause and the gaining of muscle being such an important thing. Now, then I hear on my all the Hashimoto stuff, not to be doing so much, not to overwork your body, because if you're under stress, it increases, so I struggle with the conflicting information, like obviously a movement is what it is. I need to at least be walking. I know that's good for both things. And I do probably 3 times a week. I'm definitely not the 150 minutes a week, but it is one of those things that like I think I get in that, what do we call it? Well, like just in your paralyzed state of like, what should I be doing?
Yeah, yeah.
And all the things that you said are great. And we know that. What would you say would be the first place to start other than walking? Because you kind of talked about that for
Yeah.
someone like me.
One, I would say it's very important that you listen to your body and don't let the studies out there stop you from doing what you feel like you can actually do. So my husband has Hashimoto's, my son has ulcerative colitis, my sister has an autoimmune, and
Mhm,
so I'm very, very familiar with this. And those three people I just mentioned work out super hard, and they're
sure.
good. Saying that, you need to listen to your body. So when
Mhm,
you have like, when you're sick or whatever's going on in your own body, it's important that you listen, you pay attention. But I think our mind is so powerful that if the studies are saying this is going to hurt you, you might just
mhm.
believe it. Just go in with an open mind
Sure.
and,
That's good.
do what works for you. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is I would do, there's some people out there who are now like, hey, women should be doing really heavy lifting. I don't necessarily go there because there's too big greater risk of injury when you do heavy lifting, especially most people don't have good form and you can injure
Mhm,
yourself. So
right.
I am a real big, like kind of multi-muscle person. So it's a super efficient way to work out. But if, for instance, if you're doing a back step lunge, if you know what I mean by stepping
Mhm,
back,
mhm,
and you do a bicep curl with it. So you're working upper and lower at the same time. I'm using lighter weights in my bicep, but I'm also getting a cardio at the same time. So that's a super efficient way to work out. But again, if it's too much for you, just do one part. But I would say for you, Tracy, I would say doing consistent strength training would be the biggest thing. And
mhm.
walking is great, but so often when we're walking, we're not getting, and it could be not your story, they're not getting a cardiovascular. Their pace is too slow, and they
Mhm.
do it for an extended period of time, but I'm always like, "Hey, if you could cut back on the walking and just put some core and some strength at the end, better," you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just listen to your body. It really does guide us. You can definitely challenging the muscles is important, but if you start to
Mhm,
feel pain in your joints or if you're losing form, that's a sign to lighten up.
mhm. That's good.
Okay, so what are the other 3 items?
So, yeah, that was your like, "Okay, we got 3 more things here to go through."
But we're gonna be respectful of time. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
of course. No, the other thing, of course, is nutrition, right? No, I mean, we are
Hmm.
what we hear that, right? It's so important what you put in your mouth. I mean, there's some kind of cool quotes like, what you eat can either be the greatest form of medicine or a slow poison. And so
Mm.
people are like, "Well, that's a little extreme." I'm like, "Maybe, not necessarily." We really it does matter what you eat. And the one thing I would say is, like, when it comes to your nutrition, guys, hear me. I'm telling you, I've been doing this longer than almost anyone. Don't go on a diet. Just decide that you are grateful that you can eat healthier. It's this whole thing of like between have to and get to. I have to go on a diet. How do you feel when you hear that?
Negative.
The yeah.
Poor me, right?
Hmm.
Deprivation, short term. Now, what do you think and feel in your heart when you hear, I'm so grateful I get to eat healthier food? I mean,
Gratitude.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's such a it sounds cheesy, but our thoughts matter. And so when eating healthy, I know it can be confusing, but I want you to just be thinking, I want to eat healthier. So if you're going to ask me what healthier looks like, it means eating whole foods mainly. If you have some pre-made pastas or some chips, not a big deal, but for the most part, you're going to try to eat whole foods, foods that you take and you create a dish from. So
Hmm.
that would be one thing. The other thing is water. It's one of the easiest things to do and one of the hardest things to do. Am I right? Like I said to someone the other day, I did so good with my water today, but you know what's a bummer? I start all over tomorrow. Like every day you got to start again. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
it's not, it's not a one and done. That's for sure.
Hmm.
But I mean, you can see from this water bottle, I carry it with me all the time. It's beaten up, but I'm always carrying water with me because
Hmm.
our body is like 70% water. If you are even slightly dehydrated, it lowers your metabolism. You know that. So
Hmm.
your body, when it's slightly dehydrated, has a little bit more brain fog. You just
Yeah.
don't feel your best. And
Hmm.
so if you look inside my bottle, you're going to see that I have I could say something like, "It's actually vodka and water," but
Yeah. I
it's
mean, yeah.
inside my bottle, hidden
But
behind
you're
here.
drinking the water, right? You're
Yeah,
drinking your water.
it's lemon and mint in there. I put things in
Oh.
I'll take frozen
Hmm.
strawberries and put them in instead of ice cubes, just mixing up what you put in your water. So, stay
Hmm.
hydrated, whole foods, and the one that people are very sensitive to, but the one that I have to talk about is added sugars. If you look at the way I eat compared to the way most people eat, the real only difference is I avoid added sugar. And I'm not saying don't have any. You can, and again, studies show up to 24 grams of added sugar. So, added sugar is separate on our food labels now. Added sugar is honey, agave, all of that as well. So, you want to keep that under 24 grams. 4 grams equals 1 teaspoon. So, that's 6 teaspoons of sugar, added sugar. That's a fair amount.
Hmm.
You start looking at some of the foods that are in your refrigerator, in your pantry, your ketchups, your barbecue sauces, salad dressings, they do have sugar. So the more that you can, my first step here would be to pay attention to what's in the food you're eating and start paying attention to how much added sugar you're eating. I've had people say that, when they added it up, they realized they were at about 160 grams of sugar and had no idea. And a good friend of mine who's in a lot of our exercise videos used to be a sugar addict. 160 was her number. If you look at my friend 15 years ago when she was a sugar addict compared to what she looks like now, we call her Benjamin Button because she's anti-aging. She's getting younger looking. And she thought she had arthritis when she was in her 40s. Her joints hurt. None of that anymore. And her biggest change was taking out sugar, drinking water, and eating whole foods. She's like a new person. And so it can seem overwhelming, guys, I know, but start small because your body likes to have a win. So if your sugar is at 160, a win for you could be 145. Get that win, then move it. Because once you have a win, it does something in that brain that gives you that encouragement to keep going. That's why I say maybe start with 5 minutes of exercise. So, those are my 3 tips when it comes to nutrition. And I know you may say, but I love my desserts. You know what? Have a bite or two, and you'd be surprised that may just be enough. And if you can get yourself off of it a little bit, you'll stop craving it. That's just a fact. Like, the more you can remove it from your diet, and I'm talking honey, all of them, and artificial or zero-calorie sweeteners as well. That sweetness that you taste, when you get it out, you'll actually taste more food, and not just sweet, and you won't want it anymore. It actually doesn't taste as good.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
that would be my nutrition part of it. Any questions on that, guys, or anything you think I need to clarify more?
No,
I
it's a
thought that
great
was good.
overview. Yeah.
Okay. And don't again, no dieting. My very rough rule is 80% of the time, I eat really healthy.
Mhm.
20% of the time, I'll take that pizza and a beer. I'll eat
Yeah.
some burgers and fries. It's just not my norm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
Yep.
And those are small changes that people can take and just go, okay, today I'm going to focus on this. And now I'm going to add on this. So that's something that's very easy to do in the midst of everything else.
Also on our website, and we have meal plans, and I know what it's like to be busy. And so we have a
Mhm.
super simple, like, yeah, you'll eat the same breakfast 2 days, of the week or what. I try to make it simple, and where you cooking once and like using that food that you've cooked to make multiple meals. Because a lot of times people are just, I don't have the time, is what they say. So I try to
Mhm.
simplify that and make it that you can really eat healthy in a short amount of time if you have a little bit of, planning involved.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got movement, we've got nutrition,
Mhm.
and what are the other two? Or are they part of the nutrition, the water and the.
No, nope, nope, I would say there's a third one here, and
Okay.
it's
Let's go.
just the importance of rest and self-care. A lot of times as moms or just women in general can be very much about caring for other things in this world, and they don't care for themselves. And it's almost like you have to give yourself permission. Like, I believe that if I take care of myself, I will be better at loving my children. I'll be better at work. I'll be better at all of these. And so realizing that it's okay to sit and, to read a book, or it's okay to just do something for yourself. I think as moms, we can do a disservice to our kids to make them think it's all about them. Like, they need to
Amen.
hear, I mean, yeah, right? It's so important that they hear sometimes that, "I know you wanna do that, but right now, this is important to me, and
Mhm.
this isn't only about you, it's a give and take world." Like I said, I would take my kids to the nursery, and I don't want, "Well, I do things I don't wanna do for you. This is how it works here," you know?
Right.
Or,
Yeah.
or you can you can work out with me if you want, or just but to help them to realize that you value yourself. Because how many women, in fact, last night we did a live session on loving yourself. We're doing a 10-day challenge right now. That's not pride. It doesn't mean it's prideful. It can be, but it doesn't necessarily mean. It
Mhm.
means I value me. I'm going to invest in me. I know that I'm important to me. It's
Mhm.
like just being able to say that, and then to, make that time to sleep peacefully, to try to get yourself into bed and get enough sleep. So I would just say that's really important, to give yourself permission to take care of yourself, and what that looks like is a really important mind shift that many of us need to go through.
That's so
Yes,
good.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap it up. What's number 4?
Number 4, of course, and this is saving the best for last, okay? And it is just, I really mean it. It's your time with God. It's your relationship with God. And some people, like, they've grown up always having some kind of faith. As I mentioned, that wasn't my story. I went 40 years without faith. And then now I get to walk with Jesus and talk to him all day long. And it's so important into every area of your life, the way you parent, the way, treat your
Mhm.
spouse, the way you show up in different situations. You know, Honestly, I know that I am fully loved by God. I don't need, Tori, your love, or Tracy, your love.
Mhm.
I'm never gonna be a jerk to you, but if you don't think fondly of me, that's okay. I'll ask
Mhm.
God if there's something I did there that I need to talk about, but I'm not going into my life looking for love. I am going from a place from love, and it just can impact all that I do. It really does change everything to know that love, and I love I love in John 15, I think it's so cool what Jesus does because he has created us to long for joy. We actually have a joy center in our brain. It's like we at the very root of everything we do, I would challenge you to think about this. Everything we do, our ultimate goal is more joy. Whether it's taking care of our body, going on a vacation, we long for joy. And so Jesus in John 15, he says something. It's the only time I think in the Bible that it's reiterated 9 times. He says over and over, and depending on the version of your Bible, but for the most part, he says over and over, "Remain in my love." And he says it over, and then he says, "I have told you these things." So it's super clear what these things are because he said it so many times. "I have told you to remain in my love." Okay, these things, "so that my joy will be in you and your joy will overflow." I mean, if we, because again, we want joy. And if we want it, it's so clear. Remain in his love. Now, is it super clear on what that looks like in our daily life? No, that can be a little tricky, right? But to just throughout the day to even just be like, thank you for loving me.
Mhm.
Thank you for my legs today. Thank you for, taking thank you for going to the cross. Just to be like
Yeah.
in that constant is going to bring you more joy than anything else. So I'm not
It's that
just
posture of gratitude.
yeah. And I
Mhm.
know you guys are like, "Yeah, it's a Christian thing, that's what you're supposed to say." Now, I'm saying it from a very practical I've
Mhm.
experienced it, I've done it this way, I've done it this way. This is
Mhm.
what we want, to remain in his love. It will help with comparison, people pleasing, negative self-talk, relationship I mean, you name it, it's gonna be impacted by it. So,
Mhm.
those are my 4. Sticking with it.
And
Awesome.
they're so good. I before we have to wrap up, I do wanna ask because we kinda talked about this before, you said you'd touch on it. If you could quickly here before we have to go, the what we can do to prevent Alzheimer's. It was
Oh,
something that
yeah,
we had
sorry.
talked about
Yes.
before.
Okay, back in exercise. Okay,
Mhm.
I actually taught a work on a Bible study in assisted living, and I would see their mental declines and different things, and, just being very aware of a lot of the talk about health is about brain health, right? And so,
Mhm.
here is, from all my research, the number one thing you can do to prevent Alzheimer's. It's having an elevated heart rate for at least 25 minutes while doing cross body motion that makes you think. So if I'm going to be pushing out with my, this way, I'm going to tap out the other way with my leg. It's this crossing like knee, like you can see my knee
Yeah.
crossing
Yeah.
Mhm.
right knee, left arm kind of thing, and crossing that center plane. It requires your brain to work in a different way. And then things that make you think. So we have something called pizzazz, which is similar to like jazzercise, Zumba, whatever, but you're listening to Christian music with positive messages. You're getting an elevated heart rate. You're doing cross body motion, and we're getting you to think a little bit. That's what they say, the number one thing. And you may be like, I don't dance. Neither do I. And I felt God was telling me to make the video. So you'll look at me and be like, she can't dance. I guess I can do it. She's teaching it, you
And
know.
for those listening, she is white. I just wanted to, but as also a white girl that has no rhythm and cannot dance, I will just say that you can. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
so
get you.
give it a shot, ladies. Give it a shot. That's what I'm saying.
It's so funny because I have a daughter that when she's 29, and she's got the rhythm that I don't have. She took it from the girl can dance like you can't imagine, and she looks
I
at me,
look
she's
like
like,
Oh, but that's so fun to
"Are
watch.
you seriously doing this, mom?" I'm like,
yeah, I look
Yep.
like a giraffe, a baby giraffe trying to walk for the first time. That is how I dance. And I mean, my husband just looks at me, he's like, "What are you doing?"
"Yeah." I can hit a beat because I played an instrument for many years, so I can hit a beat.
Mhm.
I just don't necessarily look great while I'm hitting the beat. So I can keep you guys moving at the right pace to the music. My hips don't go certain directions.
That's fair. Totally fair.
Hips don't lie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, this has been
Oh,
so helpful, Michelle. Thank you so much for just breaking this down and making it into simple steps and just like little bite-sized things that we can just say, okay, this week I'm going to do this, or I'm just going to, okay, let me just start by reading my labels and seeing how much added sugar I'm consuming and what that looks like and not overwhelming and not over, shaming and going, well, if you're not doing this and this, you're going to be just
yeah. Yeah,
out
you're
of luck.
losing it, dude. Yeah,
So,
it's a lifelong journey, you know?
Mhm.
I plan on exercising, eating this way, and staying close to Jesus until the day he takes me home, because I really believe that
Amen.
will help all of those days just be a little bit better. I mean, struggles will come, as we know. I've just gone through
Yeah.
a huge struggle season, but, struggles will come, but it's always better with him.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, what's your website and how can people find you?
Sure, it's faithfulworkouts with an s.com. It's all free. So you can go there, you create a free account, and you have access. I mean, we have like 600 workout videos now, but we have a filter system that helps people find exactly what they want. We have all these meal plans, recipes, Bible reading plan. Like right now, we're in the middle of it, depending on when you're listening. But for me, right now, we just kicked off a 10-day Love Yourself Healthy challenge. We do, all different types. We're doing a 21-day habit making challenge coming up. So lots of little fun ways to keep you engaged and excited to continue to, just move towards better health.
That's
Awesome.
awesome. And
Awesome.
it's
Wow.
free, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
But
And
thank God that was his idea, not mine.
and we'll have all of this in our show notes so you guys can
Mhm.
absolutely follow her and we'll put you're on Instagram. Yes. What's your Instagram handle?
Personal workouts and then Facebook same and YouTube. Yep,
Awesome.
all
Awesome.
those
We will
things.
have all those things available for you guys in the show notes. So definitely check that out. And again, thank you so much for being faithful in this,
Mhm.
Michelle. Like, if it doesn't, it to the world, it doesn't make sense to have all these resources free. And yet God just told you, like, no, this is what I want you to do for my kingdom. And there you are doing it and being faithful. So thank you for stepping out
Yeah,
in that.
we
I
also
really,
have retreats, that's one last thing, that's probably
Oh,
the
yeah.
biggest like, where I've seen the most life change in people, it's just been amazing. We have all different retreats that are so, so good. It's hard for me to say because it's, like, me, but I just feel like it's God pouring into me so I can do it, so I'm complimenting
Yeah.
him, not me, but they
Yeah.
really
absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna nudge this. I'm just saying that's another retreat nudge. Tracy
I
Liz has
know.
been talking
I
about
know.
retreats,
We've been
and
talking about him.
so
love it.
I just, just throwing that out there. So anyways, all right. Well, until next time, housewives. Bye.
Bye.